The game I was at yesterday, Ole Miss 22, Kentucky 19. You know, we had a lot of criticism about where we chose to go for the Every Given Saturday tour, which I'm fine with, but no one showed up today. No one showed up yesterday and said, I was wrong. Turns out you picked the right one to go to. As Clemson was blowing out NC State last night, no one came back and said, I was wrong. You ended up going to the one you should have gone to. This one fit all the parameters for what we look for in the games that we attend. And we don't always pick perfectly, but we did yesterday. This was the game to be at. It was a four-quarter game. It was decided in the final minute. I said last week in the preview, I had never been more convinced that turnovers were going to decide a game. Turnovers, unequivocally, decided this game. Namely, two of them by Kentucky in the red zone in the final minutes of this game. One thing I thought about Ole Miss actually did not happen. I was monitoring their center position all week last week, and it ended up that they were without their starting center. Now, why that was significant, I thought, is because I thought that would throw their timing and rhythm off a little bit to where Jackson Dart was just too vulnerable and too careless with the ball, and it ended up in a couple of turnovers. Now, he had some balls across the middle that were tipped, but they were never picked. So he threw one interception, but he didn't have that horrific day that I thought may be coming. And here's why it's so impressive. He was handling bad snaps all game. I could not believe how poor they were snapping the ball yesterday. Or I guess I could. I couldn't believe that they didn't have to pay for it in the form of a loss or multiple turnovers. So after the game, Lane Kiffin said, I know it may surprise you that I think this, but I think Jackson Dart played a good game. That's what he meant. He didn't outright call his center out, but that's what he meant. They should have been discombobulated beyond the point of recognition yesterday, and they weren't. They did enough. It was some of their lowest output of the season offensively. They did enough. Kentucky had this thing where they needed it. Absolutely had it where they needed it. If you would have told Mark Stoops, you're going to hold Ole Miss into the low 20s at home, and you're going to have two opportunities inside the red zone late offensively. Will you take it? He said, where do I sign? And they got it. And it wasn't enough because two times Kentucky turns the ball over. It was a bad day for Will Levis, a bad situational day for Will Levis. They got Chris Rodriguez back yesterday, did Kentucky. And I wasn't convinced it was going to make that big a difference. And it didn't. It did not. He's a good player, but they were just not equipped to run the ball right now. They were still under 3 yards per carry yesterday. And as a result, it did put Kentucky in some unfavorable situations. And Ole Miss had 3 sacks. They had 9 tackles for loss. You saw in the fourth quarter them force 2 turnovers. I mean, that's the difference in the game. So it was an entertaining game to witness. I think that the overall complementary style that Ole Miss played is such a credit to Lane Kiffin and to his coaching staff. Man, I'm telling you, inside the industry, there are a lot of people doubting them. A lot of people watched the assistant coaches that walked out the door for Ole Miss, and they were telling you, anybody who would listen behind the scenes, Kiffin's not the real straw that stirs the drink there. Those assistants were, and they're gone, and now they're going to suffer because of that. I would say defense, special teams, and offense in that order won this game for them yesterday. I want you to think about that. What's the reputation for Ole Miss? The reputation you probably think of is they outscore people. That's not the way they're playing. That's not the way they're winning. They're 5-0 because they consistently won the battle of field position yesterday. Defense stepped up big time multiple times, and offense did enough. If offense is what I'm waiting to come around on a Lane Kiffin coach team, I think they're pretty good. I think they're in a pretty good position. It was a great day yesterday. Gave out a ton of Academy gift cards. I got called. I was on the sideline. Someone called my name and did this, which means gift card. So I walk over there. I give the guy a gift card. And what do you think? He made one request. What do you think his request was? His request was, you need to give Northwestern some more love. Northwestern does not get enough respect on the show. And I'm like, okay. Have a good day, man. What do I say? What do I say? But gave away a ton of Academy gift cards. Food was great. We could have gone to any tailgate we wanted to. Atmosphere was great. The hospitality overwhelming. Weather, couldn't have dialed it up any better. Brad and the folks at Ole Miss took care of us. First class organization over there all the way. And it was my first time there. So I know a lot of people didn't like that it was a 7 or 11 a.m. kickoff. I loved it because I was back here by 7 p.m. last night. But really good time. Everything they say about Oxford is true, except for the state fans. And they have good reason to not say it. But I absolutely loved our time there. We will be back. Guys, thanks for watching Late Kick. Make sure and leave a comment. I love interacting with you. But most of all, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep all of this free.